Some of Hollywood's most famous stars, who used to rule the big screen and TV, are still alive and well, but they don't get much attention these days. These stars were important in some of the most famous movies and TV shows, and their influence will last for a long time in the entertainment business. Even though the world has changed around them over the years, they are still a link to a great age of movies and TV shows. Want to know more about these live legends? Van Dyke. Dick Van Dyke is 98 years old, and still shows how happy it is to live a full life. Van Dyke is famous for his parts in The Dick Van Dyke Show and Mary Poppins. His never-ending love of life and entertainment continues to inspire people today. He was recently recognized in a special CBS show called Dick Van Dyke, 98 Years of Magic, a proper honor for a career that has lasted more than 70 years. In his own words, Van Dyke is thankful for his life and often says, "I am so happy that I chose the work I did." Van Dyke keeps up a practice that many people would envy, even though he is old. He says that staying active is what makes him live so long. As his 99th birthday comes, he stresses how important it is to keep his legs strong. He told her with a smile, "If you're going to get around, you'll be fine. That's what I'm working on." He got married to Arlene Silver 12 years ago, and she is a big part of his happiness and care. "She feeds me, keeps me in shape, and I love her more every day," says Van Dyke, who is still here because of her love and company. Van Dyke's life is a lovely mix of happy memories and present moments. He misses the good old days, especially when he worked on The Dick Van Dyke Show. He says that was the most fun and creative time of his life. Now his days are full of simple joys. Getting a cup of coffee from his beloved Arlene when he woke up and singing jazz songs with her. It's easy to feel how happy the couple is to be together, and Van Dyke's ability to keep singing and acting is no doubt helping him stay mentally sharp today. Getting old. Van Dyke doesn't use words like that. He's ready to take a plane for any exciting job that comes his way, which shows that passion can happen at any age. Mel Brooks. At age 98, Mel Brooks is still a shining Hollywood star. He is the mind behind some of the best comedies of all time. Brooks has always been funny, from The Producers to Blazing Saddles, and he is getting close to 100 years old. Brooks recently won a Career Achievement Award at the Peabody Awards. He joked about his impact by saying that he thought the award was for being the sexiest man in show business. His sense of humor is still very sharp. He has had a huge impact on the entertainment business. Even though he is old, Brooks doesn't seem to be slowing down. He is working on a lot of different projects right now, one of which is a follow-up to his famous 1987 movie Spaceballs. Brooks is always coming up with new ideas, and he continues to inspire comedians and directors of today and tomorrow. It's not just the laughs Brooks gave us over the years that make him famous. He also changed the comic genre itself. His 4 children and many grandkids are sure to be proud of their grandfather's strong character and never-ending sense of humor. Lee Grant. The story of Lee Grant's life is one of strength and victory. Grant was born in the middle of the 1920s and had a very difficult career. In the 1950s, she was put on a blacklist. But this actor and director who won an Oscar wouldn't be quieted. She worked hard to get back into the business. She went on to win an Oscar for her part in Shampoo and direct a number of important films. Even at age 98, is still a major player in Hollywood. Many stories that were not told before have been told thanks to her work, especially in films. Grant's movies have shown the bad sides of society, from problems facing women to the battles of the poor. Grant is still interested in the world around her, even though she is getting older. Lately going to film festivals and talking about her work. She is a true inspiration for strength because she loves telling stories and isn't afraid to stand up for what she believes in. Lockhart and June. People remember June Lockhart, who is 99 years old, as the perfect TV mom in Lassie and Lost in Space. Lockhart began her career early on, even though she was born into a family of artists. She quickly became a beloved figure on American TV. Her part as Dr. Maureen Robinson in Lost in Space made her an icon of the small screen, and she played the same character in the new Netflix version of the show. Lockhart's business has been going for more than 80 years, and she has done a great job of balancing her work and personal life. Lockhart isn't bothered by the many changes in the entertainment business. She instead focuses on the good things in life when she's not in the news. She once said, "There is a wonderful world out there besides what you do on screen." This quote shows how grounded she is when it comes to fame and life. Many people still love Lockhart as a TV mom, even though she is 99 years old. Eva Marie Saint. Eva Marie Saint is a huge star in Hollywood. She just turned 100 years old. With parts in classic movies like On the Waterfront and North by Northwest, Saint has made a name for herself as an actress. Saint grew up in Del Mar, New York, and was born in Newark, New Jersey. She worked hard and loved her job all the way to the top. Saint has been able to balance her home life with her work life. Jeff Hayden, her husband, died in 2016, but they met in 1949 and were married for 60 years. Their relationship was very important to her, and she often put her family ahead of her job, working on only one movie a year. Today, Saint lives in Los Angeles with her kids, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. People in Hollywood still love her, and not just because of her acting skills. They also love her because of how classy and humble she has been throughout her life. Michael Caine. Michael Caine is still a big deal in the movie world at age 91. The British actor, who was known for his unique sound and wide vocal range, stopped acting for good in October 2023, after his last movie The Great Escaper came out. In this moving drama, Caine played Bernard Jordan, an elderly man who breaks out of his care home to go to France for the 70th anniversary of the D-Day landings. The part earned him praise from critics and was a fitting end to his long career. On his 91st birthday in March 2024, Caine thanked fans on social media for their birthday messages. It was his first birthday since no longer being in movies. Caine said he was happy with his career and wanted to end on a high note when he thought about his choice to retire. There was a movie where I played the lead role, and it got great praise. How can I beat this? In an interview, he talked about how happy he was to be leaving the business at the top of its game. Caine has turned his attention to writing since he retired. After a string of great autobiographies, his most recent book, the thriller Deadly Game, came out in late 2023. It was his first work of fiction. Caine finds comfort in writing and likes the slower pace it gives him compared to the fast-paced demands of playing in movies. He joked, "For writing, you don't even have to get out of bed." This showed that his sense of humor was still sharp even after he retired. The Hackman gene. Since he stopped acting in 2004, Gene Hackman, who is now 94 years old, has had a quiet life in retirement. The two-time Oscar winner, who is best known for his parts in classic movies like The French Connection and Unforgiven, has kept a low profile and only shows up in public very rarely. Hackman was seen in Santa Fe, New Mexico, not long ago. He has lived there since the 1980s. Hackman looked happy and at ease, while on a rare date with his wife Betsy Arakawa. He was wearing casual clothes. Many people remember him for how well he played each part, and how real he was in them. In an interview with Larry King in 2004, Hackman said that he didn't like seeing himself on TV because it made him feel bad. But he loved acting as a skill, and that love helped him rise to the top of the business. Hackman changed his job to writing after he retired, releasing a number of books, including the thriller Pursuit, 2013. Even though he joked that he might think about acting again if he could do it from home, Hackman seems happy with his quiet life in New Mexico. His main goal now is to take care of his family and spend the rest of his life in peace, away from the attention he used to get. Harry Carey. Even at age 93, William Shatner still thinks a lot about himself. He was facing his own death with the same bravery and interest that made him famous as Captain James T. Kirk in Star Trek. He talks about his life, his impact, and the fact that he will die in the documentary You Can Call Me Bill. Though he plays a character who thinks they can avoid death, Shatner knows he can't, and he uses this documentary to leave a message for his children and grandkids. Shatner's thoughts are real and raw, a change from the cockiness that has often been linked with his career. He doesn't mean fame or money when he talks about heritage. He means the good things that people do and leave behind. Shatner's deep intellectual thoughts on life and death show that he has spent decades thinking about what it means to be human, both on and off screen. Shatner is still very busy for his age. He still talks to fans and works on new projects. So Fragile, So Blue, his live recording with the National Symphony Orchestra in 2022, shows how much he still loves performing. Even though Shatner's acting career is coming to an end, he will be known for a long time because of how he changed popular culture and how he thought about life. It's Clint Eastwood. No signs of slowing down for Clint Eastwood, who is 93 years old. The famous actor and director was recently seen at an event in his village of Carmel by the Sea, California, that was put on by the environmentalist Jane Goodall. Eastwood is still very involved with his work, even though he is getting older. He is currently directing and producing the new courtroom drama Juror No. 2, which looks like it will be another exciting addition to his already impressive body of work. Eastwood has been making movies for almost 70 years, and has won 4 Oscars during that time. With parts in movies like Dirty Harry, Unforgiven, and $1 Million Baby, he has become one of Hollywood's most lasting stars. Eastwood is getting close to his 94th birthday, but his love for making movies hasn't changed. Eastwood was seen talking with Goodall at the event, which shows that he is still as smart and interested as ever. Eastwood is known for his love of nature outside of movies. He shared this love with his children. Being involved in conservation efforts and his strong desire to protect the environment show that he is not only a Hollywood star but also a dedicated environmentalist. Stephen Ray Anthony, who is 102 years old, is the last live member of the Glenn Miller Orchestra. This makes him a rock star in the world of music history. Anthony was born Raymond Antonini in 1922 and has worked as a drummer and trumpet player for many years. From working with Glenn Miller as a child to being the leader of the famous Ray Anthony Orchestra today. Anthony's music established the sound of the 1950s. Hits like the Bunny Hop and Dragnet became well known. He was a very good guitarist who could play both traditional big band jazz and more modern styles. This kept him relevant in the music business for many years. Anthony continued to play music and lead his band even after he got older, showing that his love for music hasn't changed at all. Anthony was famous for his music, but he was also an occasional actor. In the 1950s and 1960s he was in movies and TV shows. An award for his work in the entertainment business earned him a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. David Frankham. Before becoming an artist, Frankham was born in Kent, England in 1926. His father was a Navy officer and was often away on duty. His mother, who was the daughter of a Scottish shepherd, never got why he loved acting so much. Frankham's dream of becoming an actor never changed, even though they didn't help him. Frankham almost died of typhus while fighting in the British Army in India during the rough time after the war. He then came back to England and accidentally found work in radio. As a radio interviewer for the BBC, he met many Hollywood stars, which made him want to become an actor even more. Frankham made the brave choice to move to Hollywood in 1955, even though no one thought he would be successful and he had never been acting before. He could not have picked a better time. Frankham got his first acting job 8 months after moving to Hollywood. He filled in for Roddy McDowall in a live TV play, which was a combination of luck and hard work. After this break, she had a lot of parts on TV and in movies in the 1950s and 1960s. Frankham has been in cult classics like The Return of the Fly and Tales of Terror, and he also did voice work for Disney's 101 Dalmatians. Frankham's work took off at a time when Hollywood was moving away from the old studio system and toward an industry based on freelancers. He remembers how exciting it was to work with movie greats from the Golden Age, like Vincent Price and Basil Rathbone, while figuring out how to work in a business that was changing quickly. Frankham loves his job because he was always in the right place at the right time. He is almost 98 years old now. A real Hollywood hit story. I'm Rita Moreno. Rita Moreno is still a powerful person at age 92. Many people talked about how beautiful the famous actress looked at the 2024 Oscars in a 3D black Badgley Mishka gown with falling frills and a bold black pixie cut. The way Moreno looked wasn't just about style. It was a salute to her late friend Chita Rivera, and showed how close Moreno is to the stars of Hollywood's golden age. Moreno became famous long before she won an Oscar for her part in West Side Story in 1961. Moreno broke down barriers when she became one of the first Latina actors to become famous in Hollywood. She was born in Puerto Rico and raised in New York. Over the course of more than 70 years, she has done great work in movies, TV shows, and plays, winning her the EGOT, an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. Moreno has continued to captivate audiences with parts in movies like 80 for Brady and TV shows like One Day at a Time in the past few years. Her ability to change while staying true to her roots has made her popular with people of all ages. Moreno is a trailblazer who is getting older in a gentle way. Her bold fashion choices and fearless way of living continue to inspire people. Name Priscilla Pointer. Priscilla Pointer turns 100 years old today. She is a beloved actress who is best known for her part as Rebecca Barnes Wentworth on Dallas. Pointer was born in New York City on May 18, 1924. She started her work in theater and then moved on to TV in the 1950s. The way she played Rebecca, she was a strong opponent to J.R. Ewing and left a lasting mark on the famous series, making her a fan favorite. Pointer played for teams other than Dallas. In movies like Mommy Dearest, with Faye Dunaway, and Carrie, with her real-life daughter Amy Irving, she had lead parts that people will remember. Her work, which covered decades, showed how versatile she was and how much she loved her job. Even now, Priscilla Pointer is still a famous person in Hollywood, respected for her acting skills, grace, and lasting impact on both TV and movies. Brigitte Ober. Brigitte Ober, who is now 99 years old, may not be a well-known name in the United States, but her performance in Alfred Hitchcock's 1955 movie To Catch a Thief will live on. When Ober was born in Paris in 1925, she first worked in French movies before Hitchcock noticed her. Along with Cary Grant and Grace Kelly, she played the smart jewel thief Danielle Foussard, which showed off her acting skills and charm. Ober worked with many other directors after Hitchcock. During the 1950s and 1960s, she kept working in French movies, having parts in both comedies and plays. Ober never became as famous around the world as some of her peers, but her work is still admired in France, where she is seen as a sign of classic Parisian style, has lived a quieter life away from the press for the past few years. Still, her gifts to film, especially her work with Hitchcock, have cemented her place in the history of movies. Ober is a link to a time when French movies were more glamorous and sophisticated, and she is getting close to her 100th birthday. Tina Louise. Gina Grant, the beautiful movie star on Gilligan's Island, is what Tina Louise is best known for. She turned 90 in 2024. The show, which ran from 1964 to 1967, was an important part of pop culture, and Louise's performance as Ginger is still remembered today. Even though the show was a hit, Louise decided not to play the same character in the TV movies that followed. Instead, she looked for other acting jobs. After Gilligan's Island, Louise was in a number of movies, such as The Wrecking Crew, 1968, with Dean Martin, and The Stepford Wives, 1975, with Catherine Ross. Although she never again reached the same level of fame, Louise kept working steadily in movies and TV shows for over 60 years. Louise has been focusing on her family, especially her daughter Caprice Crane and her grandkids, over the past few years. She is proud of her legacy, and often thinks about her time on Gilligan's Island, and how famous the show is still today. Louise was surprised that the show was still popular with new generations in a rare interview in 2024. This shows that Gilligan's Island and its castaways will always be charming.